I often see or hear people complaining about how difficult their life is, how the economy's bad and they can barely afford to pay their bills or buy groceries or pay for healthcare or anything along those lines. I see fat people complaining about the difficulties of losing weight. I see depressed people complaining about the fact that they are never happy and everything just seems so bleak and whatever the case may be. And I do not feel bad for a single one of them. Some people will tell me that that is because I lack empathy. And those people are either stupid or enablers. It is exactly because I am able to empathize with these struggling people that I do not feel bad for them. Because empathy is being able to put yourself in another person's shoes. So when I put myself in the shoes of a fat person, then I understand that the reason that I am fat, or that they are fat, is because they have chosen to be fat. Maybe not consciously, but subconsciously they made the decision to gain all of the weight that they gained. Every single time they overate on whatever food it was that tasted good or made them forget about whatever it was that they were going through, or whatever it is that they chose to eat the food, they made the decision to gain the weight. When they saw themselves getting bigger and declined to change their diet or start working out, they made the decision to continue to continue getting bigger. Every single step along the path that they walked, they have chosen to walk. So why would I feel bad for somebody who is exactly where it is that they ultimately want to be? When I see people who talk about they can't pay their bills, and I put myself in their shoes because I was once in that position, I understand that the reason that they are not making more money is because they have not chosen to become the type of person who can make more money. They make excuses, they procrastinate, they blame other people for their problems, they are entitled to think somebody else should come and solve whatever it is that they have going on. They use their free time for all kinds of escapism and entertainment rather than doing anything to better themselves, whether that be watching basketball or football or playing video games or getting drunk or smoking or going to the club or chasing random girls around. All of this is time that could be used to bettering the situation in which they have placed themselves. When I was poor, it was because I had chosen to be poor, not consciously, but subconsciously. And every single action that I took reinforced that decision that I did not want to make more money. It reinforced the decision that I was going to continue being a poor person. It reinforced the decision that I was going to struggle with money. And I see all of these people, and I understand, just like the fat people, they have chosen to be exactly where it is that they are. So why would I feel bad for any of them? I don't feel bad for the addicts because they have decided to do drugs, and some of them have adopted the belief that it's a disease that was just bestowed upon them. That is nonsense. It was a decision to go and consume the alcohol, the weed, the heroin, the meth, the cocaine, whatever it is that they are hooked on. It was their decision to go do that, and it was their decision to continue doing it. So why would I feel bad for them? They are where it is that they want to be. Why would you pity anybody who is in a situation in which they have consciously placed themselves? And furthermore, this pity and this sympathy and all of this compassion that everyone wants to act like that you should feel for everybody who's struggling is counterproductive, because all that does is reinforce to the person that they are where it is that they are through forces outside of their control, and it gives them a justification to remain the same. It gives them a justification to continue on doing the things that they are doing. If you believe that you are poor because of the way that the system is set up, or the color of your skin, or where it is that you were born, or your lack of luck or lack of handouts, or your lack of willingness to be nefarious, then why would you do anything different? You would just continue doing what it is that you've always been doing, and expecting things to just change, which will keep them where it is that they are. When you empathize with people in the way that people say that you should empathize with them, you are actually harming them, because you are just affirming the fact that there's nothing that they can do to better their situation. And again, when you don't believe you could better your situation, why would you try? You wouldn't. There would be absolutely no reason to do that, because it's difficult to lose weight. But if you don't believe that you can lose weight, why would you try to lose weight? Well, relatively, it's actually very simple to lose weight, but people have no experience doing difficult things, but whatever the case may be, say it's difficult to lose weight. Why would you do that if you didn't believe that you would be successful? It's difficult to make more money. Why would you try and do that if you didn't believe that it was possible to make more money? And all you're doing when you sympathize with these people is telling them, yes, you are correct. You can't make more money, and that is why you are where it is that you are. You are in your situation. You're an addict. You're a poor person. You're fat. You're depressed because of scenarios outside of your control. And that just makes them stay where it is that they are. So what people consider to be empathy is actually enabling. It is a very selfish thing, because then people can say, well, I'm a good person because I empathize with this poor person or this depressed person, and I told them that it was going to be okay and it wasn't their fault. But all that does is make the person who said that feel good. It doesn't benefit the person who is hearing it. So, once again, I don't feel bad for a single one of these people. And if you are one of these people, if you are a fat person who believes that you cannot lose weight, I don't feel bad for you, because you have chosen to be fat and you have chosen to not change your fatness. If you are a poor person who does not believe that you can make more money, then I don't feel bad for you, because you chose to be poor and you chose to continue being poor and not do anything to make more money. And you chose those things because ultimately that's what you want. You might not have directly wanted the result, but when you chose to sleep in instead of getting up early, you chose to not make more money that day. When you chose to put off the work that you were going to do until tomorrow, you chose to not make more money that day. When you chose to go through the drive-thru rather than cook yourself a healthy meal or get a healthy meal from the grocery store, whatever the case may be, you chose to gain more weight that day. When you put off going to the gym, you chose not to be stronger. You chose to stay weak. You chose to stay looking like shit. When you chose to feel sad and dwell on your sadness and sit in bed all day wearing your sadness clothes and watching your sadness movies and listening to your sadness music, you chose to be more depressed. You chose to do all of these things. And when you made that decision, you got exactly what it was that you were after: depression, poorness, fatness, addiction, whatever the case may be. So why would I feel bad for you? If anything, I'm happy for you, because you have the exact life that you want. You have exactly what it was that you were after. Everyone else is chasing something. I'm chasing things right now. I'm trying to get better, but you are trying to get worse. And that happens every single day, and you get it every single day. What is there to feel bad for? So, if you are in a position that you do not want to be in, you should not feel bad for yourself either, because you have put yourself there. The universe gave you exactly what it is that you showed it that you wanted. You wanted to struggle with those bills. You wanted the health problems. You wanted to be able to struggle to find pants. You wanted to look like shit when you took your shirt off, so you have to wear a shirt at the pool and or the beach or whatever. You chose to be sad because you want to find the negatives in everything, and you want to be Debbie Downer all of the time. You got all of these things that you wanted, and that should be proof to you that you can get whatever it is that you claim that you actually want. If you want to make more money, if you take the steps to get that, then the universe will give you that too. If you want to get in shape and you take the steps to do so, the universe will give you that too. If you want to be happy, if you want fulfilling relationships, if you want to be sober and you take the necessary steps to do that, then the universe will give you that too. But wherever it is that you are, I do not feel bad for you. Nobody should feel bad for you, and you should not feel bad for you, because you have chosen to be there. And if you don't like that, and if you don't like the position that you are in, then you need to choose to be somewhere else.